Welcome to Throw and Tell, the first in a series of videos designed to raise awareness for men's mental health. Don't really make that clear in the video. Essentially, it's myself and a guest throwing darts, just having a conversation. This one is very heavily based around mental health. I don't plan that for the future, just want a conversation and just to see what happens if mental health the issue arises in the conversation, then all good. Also, this one was slightly rushed. Other commitments during the day meant that I kind of had to cut filming quite abruptly. If you would like to see more, please let me know in the comments below. But otherwise, please enjoy. Hi and welcome to Throw and Tell. Quite unbelievable for a startup YouTube channel that the first episode I've got an ex-professional athlete as a guest. We're talking 5-time Olympic champion, World Championships, Commonwealth Games. It's unbelievable. So please welcome.
They've gone.
What?
They've gone.
Why have they gone?
They've just left.
Oh, what the f***? Okay, plan B. She still needs no introduction, if you already know her. Welcome, Beth. Welcome to Kesway 180 Hub, or our spare room.
Thanks for having me.
It's technically not clickbait, you are an ex-professional para-athlete.
True.
So, why don't you throw some darts?
I confirm, I don't guarantee they're going to hit the board.
That's not a bad start. So then, it seems a perfect way to start. Why didn't you tell me about your darting journey?
I've thrown some darts in a pub before.
But when did it all start? It must have started somewhere for you. I mean, you were at 25 with your first dart.
Well, theoretically.
3 months ago.
Theoretically. Yeah, 3 months ago.
3 months ago.
Decided.
There's no darting journey. You don't like darts. Or you don't play darts. And our
However,
living room wall is justification to that.
I didn't do all of those holes.
Your mum did as well.
My mum did as well, which is ironic because both my mum and dad used to be part of dart teams. Clearly I didn't get the dart gene. And that's how they met. They met both playing darts.
Yeah, that's a good enough reason. Okay, so you've got no darts journey.
Nope, not at all.
How did becoming a para-athlete come about from a girl from Carlisle?
An old friend got in touch and said, just, do you fancy coming down to have a paddle in one of her kayaks on a come and have you go session? So I was like, why not? I'd got really into fitness. Mainly, that was a really bad throw. Mainly,
I'll have a few of those.
Because I'd kind of become really unhealthy and I was like, right, I need to look after myself. And she'd seen a post I'd done on Facebook, Bullseye, thank you very much. And invited me down to come and have a go session. So I did. And it's funny actually, because she'd been trying to get me in a kayak for years, since I was about 12.
Yeah.
And I'd always been like, no. Because when I was younger, I hated taking my prosthetic off. So I just refused to get in a boat. I'm glad it's not just me.
Mine fell out. Yours just literally hit the ball.
So yeah, went down, had a go. Started training with them regularly. And then within 3 months, she had me down at a regatta at Home Pierpont, racing for the club. And I think some of the longest races I've ever done because I was very new, wasn't very fast at all. And then from there, British Canoeing, now Paddle UK, it was like an open session for people to go along and try the sport.
Yeah.
So I went along and they took me on as a talent identification
For someone who's not playing darts.
athlete prospect, and then paddled with them for a year on just as a prospect, and then after that I made squad just before we went into lockdown. And then for the first, I don't know, 3 to 6 months of me being a professional athlete, I was mainly training at home in my bedroom because we were in lockdown.
In the garden of your parents' house. Luckily, it was a
very good
summer.
slash
So
spring.
when you say you made squad, is that then when you're professional? Is that when you're
Yeah, that's when I started to become funded. Started off in kayak and then transitioned over to VAR. Much prefer paddling a VAR,
which is what's VAR?
Canoe outrigger.
Okay. I'll pop up some pictures over this just to.
I think I've got a picture of me in one. If we want to use
Just
that
to brag.
So yeah, and then a few years later, my contract ended. I then stepped away from paddling altogether. As a family, we had a lot going on, and I was having to go back to work full time. So the idea of trying to fit in paddling around that was just really overwhelming. So I decided to take a break. And then what was supposed to just be a year off has ended up being almost 3 years.
Carry on, you're doing better than I am.
Gosh, I'm dropping it.
You just
before I
can't
even
hold
get
them.
onto the hockey. So yeah, and I haven't paddled really since leaving squad.
Is there something you miss now that you've not done it? I know it's a big change. Well, you're obviously juggling work and being an athlete to that not being there anymore.
Sometimes, yeah, absolutely miss it. Other times, it's quite nice to know that I've done it, I trained at that level, but I feel quite happy where I am, so it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Obviously, when I see people racing, then I miss it.
Yeah.
I was on the Paris pathway, so watching the Paris Games was obviously difficult because you sat watching them thinking, gosh, that should have been me.
I suppose it doesn't help when you've got teammates like Emma Wiggs and Charlotte Henshaw. They're going to...
Yeah, I mean, I was paddling against the world's best.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be top 2 boats to get a selection, and when you're up against number 1 and number 2 in the world, it's always going to be challenging. But one of the best experiences. Don't worry, you were well out the way.
One of the best experiences that you've... So for context, you've not come into that with any kind of background in
before
that at all.
Before that, I was not sporty. I'd obviously started my own fitness journey about 6 to 8 months prior to first getting in a boat. And that was it. I was just a complete fresh newbie, never done it. Theoretically, they still don't have a third VL3 on squad at the minute. So I am technically still number 3 in the country. until Until they find that
You can't,
third person to take my
Or to be
place.
third against like the number one, number two in the world.
We won't talk about
Are they
the
number one,
kayak.
number two in the world?
Yeah.
That's not
We
bad.
won't talk about the kayak though. I don't know where I'd be in those rankings. Probably right at the bottom.
So obviously, with that going now, you're now a qualified. Since leaving, you're a qualified masseur, qualified personal trainer.
Yeah, when being on squad, you obviously need to find work that fits around training, and it made most logical sense to go into fitness.
Just break my flights.
So yeah, I became a fitness instructor, qualified as a personal trainer, did referral, and then enrolled on my sports massage, but in the meantime did my massage therapy, and kind of took that career path completely retrained.
And alongside that, probably the one reason why you are the ideal person to be on this, your current role is a health and wellbeing officer.
Yeah.
I don't know, you explain it.
Yeah, so I'm an active lifestyles officer, so I'm just glad it's not just me. So effectively I support people with long-term health conditions
Yep.
become more physically active.
Yep. Including me.
We're still working on that.
Steps with darts at work. It's all steps.
And deliver specialised health sessions. But within that, I also trained as a mental health trainer. So I've delivered mental health training to our staff.
Yep.
One of whom was able to put it into practice and was really, really grateful for the training, and that he was able to have a conversation with someone and actually support them to get help, which is really rewarding. But yeah, at the end of the day, we're all better off being physically active in some way
Yeah.
than not at all.
Yeah.
So
100% agree. I mean, I'm a bus driver, probably one of the least. Us and HGV drivers, probably one of the least active people out there. I say I agree. I mean, we're the polar opposite. So I've got a gym membership. I've been 3 times in 4 months.
4 months.
This is my...
And I've been 3 times this week.
Yeah. I mean, you essentially, you work at the gym, so wise go.
I'm jinxing you.
The darts isn't the important thing. I just like to get them in the board. But yeah, so complete polar opposite. Yeah, you 3 times a week.
That's a minimum for me. I didn't go on Saturday, and I should have done.
Yeah, you can tell.
Should have been the 4th day. Never mind.
Just before going any further, these videos are in support of Men in Houses. They're a nationwide charity, help men with their health and well-being. I should have really scripted this. They provide safe places for men to socialise, share skills. They do projects, building, manufacturing within the community and personal projects. It's a really good organisation, and one which is, to ourselves, it's very close to us, but that's
absolutely
not a conversation for today, is it? Really? So yeah, link will be in the description below. If you can help them in any way, please do. I know times are hard, it's difficult. If you can donate to them, please do. Another way you can do that is subscribe to this channel. Any money that I can manage to raise through ad revenue, at the point where I can do that through this playlist, I will donate to the charity. So yeah, link will be in the description below. Take a look and please subscribe and like the video. So I just thought, just a little segue from that, in regards to mental health, little game.
Okay.
Little game. I've got 20 questions. Throw a dart, 1 to 20, 1 dart, whatever comes out on my list, I'll ask you the question.
Oh, okay. So
Just
I
wonder.
don't need to go around the board 1 to 20.
That'll come later, but that's not in
okay.
regards to questions, all right?
Okay. So just, what if I'd got the bullseye?
Oh, what's that?
14.
Yeah, it's 14, isn't it? Okay. Helpful that I can read my own writing. That would be a good idea. Okay. You've probably covered this, but what does mental health mean to you personally? I know you've obviously, you said you've had challenging times over there. I know recently there's been a huge challenge in regards to your own mental health.
Yeah, like, I mean, obviously it's a big part of my job. I come in contact with people who struggle with their mental health every single day. But last year, obviously I was struggling with my mental health. It's something that I talk quite openly to friends about. I'm quite open with colleagues at work if they ask me. I'm quite open, quite happily talk about it. I've had therapy. I'm quite happy and open to say that I've had therapy. I was actually diagnosed with anxiety and PTSD. Those of people who know me will know what the family's kind of been through. And obviously I work with different organisations like Talking Therapy and Nottinghamshire Mind, Men in Sheds, places like this, through work. So for me, conversations about seeking therapy and having those conversations is probably a lot easier for me than others because I'm around it. However, obviously making that first initial phone call and admitting that you're struggling, it's challenging. And then obviously having to have the conversation at work to say, look, actually, I am struggling. This is where I'm at.
Yeah.
And then going on anxiety medication and admitting that you need that support. You know, and me and my friend, we quite often have conversations about it because I'm sure she won't mind me saying, but she's also on anxiety meds. She's had anxiety, she's had depression, OCD. So her and I are very, very open about conversations. And if my anxiety is bad one week, I'll be saying to her like, gosh, my anxiety is really bad. For a long time, when my PTSD was at its worst, I would just need to see an ambulance and I would literally almost have a panic attack.
Yeah.
And inevitably, it's normally when you're driving that you'll see an ambulance because you're driving past them, which is never a good time to have a panic attack. Luckily, I have had support. I am on meds that seem to work and seem to help. There are still days where my anxiety is worse than others.
Yeah.
But I think you'll even say that going on them has helped balance me out a little bit more. And I can actually, when I do get anxious, I've almost got a little bit more control over it. I can control that rather than letting it spiral to a point where I can't control it.
Yeah, 100%. I can definitely see the difference. I know when you're not quite right, and normally, to be fair, it's when you've not been to the gym.
Yeah,
you had a day or two off. It's normally the days, and obviously that, as you mentioned, that's good for you. Can I ask in regards to the, because actually I think this is something we don't talk about enough.
Yeah.
Or I don't ask you if you are okay, because you seem okay.
I am okay.
Generally you are, but there are days I can tell obviously when you're not, and I kind of just,
it's just Beth
rather than
having a
speaking
day.
to you, I avoid it. I've now forgot what I was going to say now. So obviously, did you know, could you tell there was something at the point, because I think I was the one who kind of asked you to get some help.
Yeah,
did you know?
The 3 months prior to going to the doctor and speaking to someone about it, absolutely. That 3 months prior to it, the only thing that didn't for me, spiral was work. It's the only thing I had full control over still, but everything else.
I just want to stop a minute. It's obviously a darts. I'll let you carry on. Apologies for that. I'm actually playing okay. Can we do this every time? Can we do this, please? Sorry, I interrupted you there. I was just quite impressed with myself.
It's all right. And I'm not, but the 3 months prior to going to the GP, and like you've just said, the only reason I went was because you said, please get help.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I did. Yes, I noticed 100% things were spiraling. You have obviously, we've talked about this before, you obviously felt that it was a lot longer before then. And then since talking about it more and having therapy, actually, yes, it did start a lot earlier than that. So I think I got diagnosed in the September.
Yeah.
I always say that it was about the beginning of May, June time that I started noticing. But now when I look back, it's like, well, actually the PTSD was there a lot longer before then, at least a year before that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think now I can see that it was a lot sooner than that. I think it's important that I think loved ones can see things that you can't. I was quite good if I got triggered. For me, it was ambulances, but if I got triggered, I would quite happily phone you or mum or someone and say, I'm about to have a full-on blown panic attack. I need you to talk to me to distract me. And I was quite good at that. But when it got to my anxiety, like I got to a point I was crying every day because my anxiety was that bad.
Yeah.
Like that's not normal.
No.
And that started, I would say, the 3 months prior to going to the GP.
Yeah.
But obviously that's a symptom of that anxiety building over a period of time. And actually, you said you were playing well.
I'm playing well, I'm knocking them out the board. What?
I've lost my train of thought now. But yeah, like actually, it had been building a lot earlier than that. And had I spoken to someone and maybe got counselling sooner rather than waiting to the breaking point, things would have been different, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of the most difficult things actually when you've got somebody who's stressed and you were very short and snappy at the time.
I would get like,
in the greatest respect, you were a nightmare at times.
Can you remember the incident with the knife?
That sounds probably worse than what it sounds.
A knife just fell on the floor and I had like a full nervous breakdown.
Yeah.
Just because a knife had fallen on the floor.
Yeah.
Rather than thinking, that's annoying, and getting another one out the drawer, I had a full-on meltdown.
Yeah. I think that probably was one of the points where it's like, okay, you need to, it's hard to start that discussion or, you know, to actually to talk to you about it, and rather than just being, like a confrontation, like starting out, to actually just to talk about it and just say, look, this.
I think there's so many people who are probably dealing with anxiety, or it might not even be full-blown like depression, but low mood that can escalate into something like anxiety, depression. And I think it's important that people need to talk, because if we're not talking, we just let it all bottle up. The fitness instructor we had who had the conversation with the customer, and the customer was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to deal with this. I don't know how I'm feeling. And I feel a bit lost. And I'm, listened to him and was like, actually, I think you need to talk, Yeah. It, like, he's there saying, this is how I'm feeling and I'm struggling. And sometimes it's not necessarily your partner, your parents, your friend. you can go
sometimes that's
completely
probably the
external.
hardest person to speak to.
Absolutely.
Whereas just really getting it off your chest and speaking to somebody, whoever it might be. Obviously, there's also charities out there you can speak to, phone up and
absolutely. I would always advocate for talking therapies. I've seen how they've supported. It helps that I work alongside them. They're one of our partners now. But the value of having that service for people to actually refer themselves into it and have those conversations and talk to someone who's outside of the situation and can give a little bit more of a, I don't know,
balanced, impartial.
Yeah, impartial, yeah. Oh no, that wasn't a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think if it's somebody, if it's, like say, with yourself, you are short and snappy. It's hard to as an understatement. But from my point of view, it's probably it seems a lot more personal than when you're getting at me.
Yeah.
Whereas, so I'm quite taking that personally, whereas you're speaking to someone else, can rationalise it a bit more, whereas I'm just kind of, want to know you're not right, but also you're shouting. You're shouting and having a go at me.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think we forget that if we've got stuff going on, it's our loved ones that get it. Yes. Whether it's you've had a bad day at work or you've fallen out with someone, that ranting will go to your partner, your parents, your friends, because they're that safe space and that safe person to do that with. And I think, especially from my experience with my anxiety, it was never going to be a personal attack to you, but obviously it's hard when someone's in that state to not take it personally.
I mean, even though no, it wasn't personal at all. Well, majority.
Unless you really did.
And yeah, exactly. But I never knew. I always knew it wasn't me, but it's still at me.
Yeah.
You get the brunt of everything. But I'm glad you're better. I think that's about time to maybe wrap it up now. It's a bit longer than what I thought. But thank you for doing this. I know it was very short notice last night that you kind of found out I was planning to do it today. So I really do appreciate it. I don't know how to close this off. I'll leave links to anything that's been discussed today. I'll leave links to your socials down below if anyone wants a personal trainer and massage if you're in Nottinghamshire. You do online personal training as well, training plans. Check out Beth. She literally, what she does is amazing. But thank you. And I'll see you again shortly.